So today we not only have brand new Ice Barrier support, we have brand new Infernoid support. And let's get right into it with the first brand new card being Gregorus, Swordman of the Ice Barrier. It is a level 6 water winged beast tuner effect monster. 2000 attack, 1200 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control a Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one level 5 or lower Ice Barrier monster from your graveyard or hand. Monsters in your opponent's graveyard cannot activate their effects while you control another Ice Barrier monster. This card is actually really good. It is anti-graveyard, and plus it helps out the deck since you could just freely special summon this. I actually enjoy that for a deck like Ice Barrier. Now next up we have Mirror Magic Master of the Ice Barrier. It is a level 2 Aqua Tuner effect monster with 1000 attack and 400 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You contribute one other effect monster, special summon up to 3 Ice Barrier tokens, Aqua, Water, level 1, attack 0, defense 0, and if you do, increase its card's level by the number summoned. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except water synchro monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one of your Ice Barrier cards that is banished or in your deck to your hand, except Mirror Magic Master of the Ice Barrier. This card's relatively good because it can help flood the field into multiple tokens, and you can get into easy level 8 synchros. I really do actually like how that card is because it helps out the deck quite a bit. Now down from the icy crevice we have Lancia Dragonic, ancestor of the Ice Spirit Mountain. It is a level 10 water dragon synchro effect monster, 3300 attack and 2700 defense. One water tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. You can only use the first effect of this card's name up to twice per turn. Once per chain, if your opponent special summons monsters, you can special summon one Ice Barrier monster from your hand, deck, extra deck, or graveyard. Then you can change one opponent's attack position monster to defense position. If this card is synchro summoned and its owner's control leaves the field because of your opponent, you can special summon one Ice Barrier synchro monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Summoning out Trishula is very scary for free, and honestly this card does that quite well. Being a level 10 is a little difficult to get out, but overall this card alone definitely helps getting your actual synchro monsters out of the extra deck pretty much for little to no cost. And finally we have Frozen Domains leading to the Ice Barrier. It's a continuous trap card, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Ice Barrier monster effects. Great, it's a somewhat misc. If a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, you can return one Ice Barrier monster you control to the hand, then place one card on the field or in the graveyard to the bottom of the deck. Once per turn, during your end phase, reveal 3 Ice Barrier monsters with different names in your extra deck, or destroy this card. Granted, this card is very powerful. It can sway games, and honestly, this is what the deck needed out of these 4 cards, possibly needing 1 or 2 more cards, but outside of that, this Ice Barrier support is very great. But now let's get into the Infernoid cards, as we have Infernoid Evil. It's a level 1 fire fusion effect monster fiend, 1100 attack, 1100 defense, and it takes 2 Infernoid monsters. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can banish one Infernoid monster from your graveyard, send one Infernoid monster with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard equal to the banished monster's level. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, you can add one void, spell, or trap card from your deck to your hand. So this is theoretically a monster gate or a reasoning that you could just go into imagination with. So just activate, use imagination, send to. Cool, summon effect, banish one of the ones that you just sent. You can banish a level 9 Infernoid and send 9. This card is actually very broken. This card's really broken. I actually really like what they're doing with Infernoid because they're giving options to the deck, and you could easily just link this card away, as you could, that actually works very well with Link Rebo. There are a lot of ideas brewing with my brain right now in this deck. Next up, coming out of the ashes of the Sacred Tree, we have Infernoid Flood. It is a Fire Link 4 Fiend effect monster with 3000 attack, and it has Saryuja Link monsters being top, bottom left, bottom right, and bottom. It takes 2+ monsters, including an Infernoid monster, and you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If your opponent would special summon a monster's quick effect, you could tribute one monster, negate the summon, and if you do, banish those monsters. Relatively great against pendulums and decks that multi-summon. 2, if this card is banished from your graveyard, you can banish one card on the field. Non-targeting spot removal, that's pretty great. And if this linked summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by your opponent, you can special summon one Infernoid monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning condition. Being able to summon out Deviati and Onuku for free is very scary. They are making a lot of scary support recently for a lot of these decks, and this is definitely one of them. Being a Link 4, it's a little harder to get into, but that's absolutely fine because it's 2+ monsters, including an Infernoid monster. So you could use a Link 3 and an Infernoid monster, and that could be very, very deadly going into the end game for this deck. A very powerful Link monster, I do have to say, and I will definitely like to have this tested out to see how well it performs. Next up, we have the first of the spell cards being Void Blaze Up. It is a normal spell card, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per duel. The first effect is reveal one Infernoid monster or one Void spell and trap card in your hand, discard your entire hand, then draw the same number of cards you discarded. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are fiend monsters, and this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, then target up to 11 of your banished Infernoid monsters with different names, return them to the graveyard. So they just gave them a burial from a different dimension for 11, and it gave them a card destruction, a one-sided card destruction. Dark World could use this. Actually, that's very why are you giving any fiend deck that could run void spells and traps actual broken support? This is actually very scary because this actually helps out Infernoids a lot, being able to recur their monsters, and if you have imagination on the field, you could just summon back 3 big beat sticks as level 1s. This is actually very scary, and I think Infernoids might pop into the meta again because they are the original Bestials. Overall, definitely love this support. Now finally, for the last card of these new cards, we have Void Barrier. It is a continuous spell card, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. One effect. Infernoid monsters you control gain 100 attack for each of your banished Infernoid monsters. Cool. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are fiend, you can activate one of these effects. Add one of your banished Infernoid monsters to your hand, or you can special summon an Infernoid monster ignoring its summoning conditions from your hand. Yeah, this Infernoid wave isn't broken at all, sarcastically. Overall, these 8 cards for between these two archetypes really are good for the deck. It pushes them into another limelight. Infernoids are going to be a rogue to a tier 2 meta threat, and ice barriers are still going to be there while people figure them out, as they did lose Rodentonen a few lists ago. But I want to know what you guys think about these new cards. I really love them. They are really helpful for both of the decks. But anyways, I have been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video.